And then I'll tell you about me. Kerry gave me the introduction, so I'll give you that 20 bucks a little bit later. But I'm a marketing strategist. I'm a copywriter. I'm a storyteller, and most people kind of look at me when I say that thing, and they don't really know what that means. So I'm going to tell you exactly what it means. I'm a marketer, and for example, I'm going to give you examples what I've done over the last week. Now, 95 to 99% of the work I do is with car dealerships scattered out all across North America. So if you know a car dealer, I would love an introduction to them. I'll get them a copy of my #1 best-selling book, How to Sell More Cars. But I also do a lot of work, not a lot of work, but a little bit of work for insurance agents and real estate agents and mortgage brokers and really anyone who's trying to market things. That's what I do. So, for example, in the last week, I have written an email funnel for a marketing company in Australia that is going to be producing a new compact carry bag to help people remember to take a bag with them when they go to the market, so they don't have to use the plastic bags from the market. So they're trying to save the world, and I wrote the email funnel for them. I've written radio spots for a car dealership in Red Deer, Alberta. I've written blog posts for a car dealership in Kansas City, Missouri. I'm training a real estate agent staff in Columbia, Tennessee later this week, and that's what I've been doing. So anything that has to do with I do a lot of radio and television production, do a lot of sales training, and do a lot of blog writing and just any kind of long form copywriting for web pages, like Bob was talking about. You get this web page, and a lot of people think as soon as they made the web page that they're done with it. But building the web page is like having your phone installed. Until you do something to make it ring, it's not going to do you any good. And the way you make it ring is keep feeding Google more words so that Google can send people to it and develop those leads that Bob was talking about. So my name's Terry Lancaster. If you need me, I'm the easiest person in the world to find. Just go Google Terry Lancaster. So welcome to NASPnet, the Nashville Association of Sales Professionals Online Networking. We meet online here every other week. Every other week we're meeting in Murfreesboro live. Go ahead and for those of you who didn't, I saw that Bethany has, plug your contact information into the chat bar so that we've got that. And there's mine right there. Except it's not, that's something completely else. Don't worry about that, and plug your information into the side. And now we're going to hear from my buddy Kerry Stiles. Kerry is a sales professional. He's a good guy. He's a picker and a grinner. So he's got that going for him, and he's going to talk to us today about Sales 101. Kerry, buddy, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. This is difficult. How am I supposed to educate or help professionals like you when you're probably better at it than I am? So I just thought, well, instead of maybe some how-tos, I'm going to maybe share some philosophies, attitudes that have helped me basically just keep going. I'm not the kind of guy that is going to come on and just dazzle people. I'm not the kind of guy that they say he can sell ice to an Eskimo, but I am going to be, as you, consistent, honest, fair. I am just going to keep trying, and so here's some of the philosophies I'll share with you today are those things that kind of keep me going in that direction. The first thing that comes to mind is one of my customers used to be a stand-up comedian on a cruise ship, which is just very, very intriguing to me. And so I asked her, I said, how do you do, where do you come up with your material? I said, do you have writers that you pay? No. Do you steal from other comedians? No, don't do that. She said, it's all around you. You just got to be open to it. You got to be listening and watching and just embrace what might be coming your way. So that's what I've always thought, that customers, prospects are not necessarily on the other side of town. They're not necessarily on another state. They are just all around us, and all we do, we just have to be open and be willing to take in what they might have as an opportunity to work with. So that's number one. Our customers are all around us. Number two, what kind of person are we dealing with? I have to keep things very simple. I have put everybody into a 4 component part of personalities, less, and from where I'm standing from, less aggressive, more aggressive, less detailed or more detailed. And depending on what kind of person that is I try to adapt to them. The thing that's amazing to me about that is if we're in one quadrant, there's 3 other quadrants right there we are not fitting into. So we have to, by asking questions, get to know them. Do they want more detail? Do they want statistics and case studies and all kind of detail? Or they just tell me the bottom line? And are they more laid back? Are they more aggressive, assertive? And whatever that is, try to mimic that, because people will buy from people they like and that they are like, and that those people are like us. The number 3, I'm surprised I even had to include this in what I'm going to say to you today. This has been a shock to me in the last couple of weeks. A couple of customers I have been working on literally for years have contacted me. And I said, thank you so much. Why now? Why not 5 or 6 years? They said, my present supplier will not call me back. My present supplier will not call me back. So I feel like if there is ever a time for customer service where we can shine, now is that time. I try to make it very easy for my customers to buy from me. Anything and everything I can do upfront without asking, to just make it, to streamline that process, to make it easier, to make it faster. For example, on apparel, if somebody has an interest, I go ahead and send them a link showing all the specifications of it. I send them pricing. I'll send them samples. So I'm cutting down any possible way that they can have a hesitation. It doesn't work all the time, but that helps me a whole lot. And whatever you do, if we can just cut down, here's everything you need to make that decision as soon as possible. Big thought of mine is that I think sometimes we can get caught up with what we say, how we say. We've just got to say it this word, this way, with this right pronunciation. I think it's more important, instead of what we say, saying the right thing, it's that we are talking to the right person. So I really try to get to that right person, that decision maker. Number 6, regardless of how we think about politicians, we are all, in a sense, like politicians. We are always, always, always running for re-election. As any good politician, they're always on. We've got to be always on. We've got to be always ready. And if we're not, we slip a little bit, that's when our competition might be able to slip in the door there. Another thing I've done is I've created a mastermind for 5 of us. We get together. It's kind of like this group here. We are actually competitors in a real sense. We sell the same products to the same people, the same suppliers, the same area. But as the old saying goes, it's better to be a close friend, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So we get together on a monthly basis, a great group of guys, and we share all those strategies and maybe what sourcing and try to find that right product that maybe we can't find it. It's been a great group of people. There, as what you do, there are people you're going to compete against that you just learn to be friends with, and you're not going to compete against them. So that has been a great help to me. The other thing that, again, a lot of these are things we've heard before. Just keep it as simple as we can. I will gladly pay a little bit more at Fleet Feet to get some help and some simplification than I would Amazon or going to someplace. I need that help. I'm glad to pay a little bit extra for that help. So if I go to a Fleet for shoes or whatever, they keep it very simple and help me, and I need all that. It's very easy for us to beat up on ourselves when we make a mistake. My philosophy on that is, one time, what will I do different next time? And then forget it. And there's usually a lesson, something we could have done a little bit different, a little bit better, and try to implement that in the future. Another one, do something. Just get off of dead zero, get the moving, get some action going, get some energy going. Just do something. The last one is my philosophy that has changed my life forever. It has made my life less stressful. It has made my work less stressful. And that is the philosophy I have adopted, which is if it's going to be, it's up to me. If it's going to be, it's up to me. I cannot tell you what that has done for me because my frustration with people has gone down. My expectations of me has gone up, and I just have to, bottom line, if this is going to happen, I've got to make it happen as you have to make it happen in what you do. And I think to sum all this up, a lot of us, I haven't shared anything with you newer, cutting edge, but maybe some things you thought of before. But if there is a similarity between successful and unsuccessful people, it is that they both have that same dislike for the things that has to be done to make them successful. The difference is the successful people do it anyway. I hope this has been of some interest, and hopefully been some value. I would love to have hear of your interest in your benefits, your things you could share as well. So thank you again for Terry for having me on, and I appreciate it. I'm honored to be here. Thank you very much.
Like I tell my kids, that's why they call it work. If I wanted to do it, they would call it happy fun time. But it's work, and that's why you got to always do the work. The thing I like most about what you said, Kerry, and you kind of blew by it at the beginning there, and I think it's important. You had a customer call you from 5 years ago, a person you've been on for 5 years, and they finally came around and called. And the same thing happened to me last week. Last week, I had a client call me. I swear I have not physically spoken to this person on the phone in 20 years. They moved, and this happens a lot in the car business. People end up moving dealerships, and you don't really, and they move, and they take a new job, they move to a different state. But this guy called me, and I recognized the name, and I picked up the phone and told me who it was. I said, "Man, I thought you was dead. I hadn't heard from you in forever." But he's not dead, and he's still on. He's not on Facebook, but he's on LinkedIn, and we're connected on LinkedIn. But he hasn't bothered to update his LinkedIn in years, so I had no idea where he was. But he still sees what I'd been doing for the last 20 years. So even though I haven't called him, even though I haven't reached out to him, even though I haven't sent him a postcard like I do everyone else, he called me because he knew me from 20 years ago, and he just now needed something that he knew I sold. So just like Kerry said, you have to be there for him. And if you want to play, you got to stay in the game. And it might take more time than you were planning on. It might take more than 2 or 3 calls to close the deal. It might take 5 years. It might take 20. But if you're still around when the phone rings, that's all good. Who's got questions for Kerry? Blaine Little just popped in. Blaine, I've never heard you with a shortage of wordage. So one, come on and tell us who you are, and then tell us your thoughts.
Well, and I apologize for being late. Just kind of off of what you had brought up there, Terry. Let me ask. I mean, to what extent do you maybe try to qualify a prospect again? And in real estate, I've had it happen a couple of times that I'll go out for a listing and say, yeah, we're thinking about listing a home, and I'm like, okay. So I go out there and take all the measurements, do all the forms, everything, and then they don't decide to do anything. And then a year later rolls around, and now I'm questioning their motivation. And so at what point do you pre-qualify people? What do you do?
That's a great question. The thing that I have found over the years is if a prospective customer will send a logo, then they are somewhat committed instead of just a vague, I wish I had or like to have. If they will take the effort to send a logo, they are usually it's usually going to happen, not all the ways, but if they're just talking very generalities about maybe wanting this, do this, but if they will take, number one, if they have a logo, for me, if they have a logo, and number two, if they will send the logo to me, then we've got a basis to move forward. And that usually is one of my qualifiers right there, is just
so
send me your logo.
And I'm sorry for missing the first part of this, but what is logo?
Okay, I'm sorry. A logo for what no, that's okay. I do provide printing, promotional products,
Oh, okay, I see.
and apparel. So
They've got skin in the game, and yeah, okay.
if I'm going to do anything for them, I have to have their logo, and that's usually a qualifier for me.
Okay.
So Blaine, you're in the real estate business. What do you do? How important is it for you to qualify a prospect? Because for me, I've never my qualifier has always been, if you own a Ford dealership, you're a good prospect. Whether you're ready to send me a logo or not, it's incumbent upon me to stay in your life because I know you're going to buy something one day, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. So I don't really have to qualify as long as you fit my criteria of customer. Then I don't have to qualify where your heat level where you are, because I'm going to be in your Kool-Aid no matter where you are on the heat level. How do you do it for home buyers?
Well, what I train in some of my real estate classes that I teach is, again, what Kerry was saying. You got to have some sort of a skin in the game, got to have some sort of a commitment. And so if I'm dealing with buyers, they call me up, hey, we want to see this house. Fantastic. I'll show you a house. And I sit down before we go out with that. And I do a consultation. This is how I work. We can decide whether it works for the both of us to work together. Let's go see that house. Oh, here's some lenders. Go get pre-approved. It doesn't take but a day or two. So then, if they want to see, hey, we want to see more houses next weekend. Did you get pre-approved? No. Well, my time is taken. Listing is a little harder, and usually if they do invite you to come over to take a listing, it's usually going to happen. But I've had it a couple of times where they're just like, oh, okay, we'll think about it. Fine. So I probably didn't pre-qual enough on the front end.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the pre-qualification to list a house to sell is that you have a house to sell.
Yeah.
So what are some sales 101? Kerry talked about being in there. They're all around, and this is what I trained customers are all around you. This is what I trained in the car business, is that everyone's a buyer. And in the house business, in real estate, everyone's a buyer, because everyone I know has a roof over their head, and everyone I know has a car that they drive. Bethany, everyone, not everyone, but most everyone has hair. So you've got buyers all around, and you've got opportunities to connect wherever you go.
If I can I ask a question here, Terry?
You can do whatever you want, brother. It is your world.
I haven't been here before, so I'll claim ignorance if I do something wrong. But it would be very important for me to know how, in what we do, we separate ourselves, we differentiate ourselves from what we do. There's a lot of people buying cars. There's a lot of people buying houses. And Bob and Bethany, I don't know as much about what you do, but I know you have competition in what you do as well. What is one thing that all of you do to separate yourself from all the other people doing what you do?
Like what I do, I try to offer good customer service, be there for people regardless of the situation. Bob Heilig says, love, serve, grow. Don't think about the outcome. I've had a lot of people come to me who might be already using Monate with someone else. I've gotten, they've canceled and come to me because I help them. So I try to not even think, like if someone, and pretty much everybody knows what I do, like people yeah, they know, people know. And like you said, Terry, everybody does have their hair, or that everybody washes their hair. But yeah, so they'll ask me questions. So I just try to help them without even thinking, yeah, they might be under this, or they might be under a market partner or buy from someone, and they're like, hey, they're not helping me, or this isn't working. Can you help me switch, so we'll switch products up, and they might not even be buying from me. So that's what I try to do. Just letting them know what I do and helping them, and sharing my experience, because I have a true experience, because I am honest. I am who I say I am. This is my hair. It was short, thin, oily. Now it's long, curly, thick. And so even my hairdressers notice my experience. So that's, real life people and customer service.
Thank you.
How about you, Bob?
I try to, I guess, educate more than anything else. try to find out, are they getting a return on their investment? Because I think it's important that with all the different options out there now, when I got started in business, I mean, the big thing was the yellow pages. We didn't have the internet, and so there's so many options. It's hard to tell what really works. So
yeah, the thing I do to stay connected, to differentiate myself, is just that, to stay connected. And I love what Bethany said about removing the outcome from the action. And that's one thing I try to do in every area of my life. No matter what it is, no matter what your goals are, everyone is so goal oriented, and they put together these wish lists of things that they want, or what they want to accomplish, or things they want to have. And it's just that, a wish list, when what they need to be building is a to-do list and what's going to help them get there. But if you do these things, and it's never one-to-one, you might do the thing and it takes 5 years for the guy to call you. So you have to separate the action. And the action I do is to stay in touch with people, to host meetings like this. I host a meeting like this in the automotive industry as well. And then I'm in people, try to remain in their lives as often and as frequently as possible, whether it's a phone call, whether it's an email, whether it's a text, whether it's a birthday card on their birthday. That's the biggest, I swear that's the biggest differentiator I have. And it surprises me, because I've been marketing for 30 years. Most of my income now has come over the last few years anyway, from sending birthday cards to owners and general managers of car dealerships. Nobody gets a birthday card. You might get 2 or 3 birthday cards if you're lucky. One from your hairdresser, one from your mama. That's about it, right? And so when people get birthday cards from me, here's one right here. Happy birthday! They'll get a birthday card from me, and I get these phone calls all the time. Hey, thanks for sending me the birthday card. We need to talk about this, or hey, I'm going to be doing this next month. I'll give you a call. But it always leads to a conversation, and making people feel special is never a bad idea.
Kerry, how do you subtly get that birthday information?
I'm friends with 5,000 people on Facebook, and Facebook tells me.
Okay.
And if they don't have their birthday on Facebook, I ain't bashful. I'm from East Nashville. I ask them. That's the only way I know to get anything.
I like that.
Yeah.
I ain't bashful. I'm from East Nashville.
There you go. Well, it's 12:04. Everyone has introduced themselves. Kerry has given us his words of wisdom, but we are in short supply of people, so we can carry on the conversation. If anyone has anything they want to talk about, anyone has anything they want to ask. If you have a mole on your back that looks funny and you want to turn the camera around, you can show us. We can look at that too. So the floor is open.
Just kind of, and the reason why I was asking specifically in real estate about the listing is the buyers are pretty easy. I mean, they're wanting to purchase a house. But one thing that I do teach, again, working with some buyers, always ask in the consultation, if we found the ideal home for you today, what would you do? Now, I feel silly asking that as sellers. If I got an offer on your house today, what would you do? Well, they'd sell it because they already have the listing. But for buyers, that's something that translates sometimes is, if we found the perfect home for you today, what would you do? And just see how they respond.
I love that. That is great, Terry. I'm sorry. Let me
Blaine.
I'm sorry, Blaine. Blaine, I think that's great. Thank you for sharing that.
And Blaine, Kerry is in Toastmasters. He's in the Let's Talk Franklin. Is it still called Let's Talk Franklin?
It is. Well, excuse me. It is moved to Brentwood. It's Let's Talk Brentwood now.
Let's Talk Brentwood.
Yeah.
I know. Pfeiffer, Kay Pfeiffer was their president for a long time, and I know Michelle, and I used to when I was area director, I used to frequent them often. So.
I have met you, but it's been a while.
So. Okay, great, good. Awesome.
Well, Blaine, let me ask you a question, because I'm actually one of the things I'm doing this week is I have to go to an insurance agency, and we're going to be talking about their social media. And he says he said a lot of his agents aren't as active on social media as he wants them to be, because they feel salesy. So give me a tip on what to do so that they can be active and engaged on social media without feeling like they're trying to be pushy and self-conscious about it.
I get it. That's and that's one of those, and real estate to some extent, but insurance is one of those that people just stereotype. And so I get that. Who's the, I can't remember his name. He's the boring insurance agent. He's with,
Josh Minton.
Yeah. So this guy does just ridiculous stuff, and he says he's boring. He's not boring, but he's actually pretty engaging, and he'll just do ridiculous things, not wacky, zany, just kind of, what, things on his posts. And so they say you're supposed to get a lot more with video than just posts, but he'll do a little 30-second video. And I think one of them was like he was cooking out, but his friend didn't want to give him the best, juiciest burger or something. He said, well, if you have friends like me, because I'm boring, but if you need insurance, give me a call. It was just some little situational thing. It was kind of cute but memorable.
All right, everyone, we've got the information in the chat bar. If you want to save the chat, then you'll have everyone's contact info. And I encourage you to reach out to each other during the week so that we can get to know each other and like each other and trust each other and refer each other for more than just the hour that we're here every couple of weeks. We're going to be in Murfreesboro next Monday at the Burger Bar starting at 11 o'clock. Blaine, do you happen to know who the speaker is next Monday?
It is the world famous, or at least famous in Middle Tennessee, Takesha Bromell.
Oh, yeah.
She's written 3 or 4 books. And the name of the topic escapes me, but she's always amazing. She's very good. And we'll start promoting that online here in probably just a day or two.
Yeah.
She's really good. She's a dynamic speaker. So I would say, come on into Murfreesboro. Networking starts at 11. The program itself actually starts at 11:30, like here, but runs till 10:30. And the only cost is your meal. I think everything on the menu is like $14, whether you get a burger or whether you get a salad or whatever. So just come on out.
And speaking of juicy burgers, they really do have the good burgers at the Burger Bar.
I know. You know what that sounds? The place sounds like a dive, but they are actually crafted burgers, and you get a portobello mash or a bean burger or turkey or just however you want, and they'll cook it 5 different ways, and it's delicious.
All right.
The Burger Bar next Monday at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, it's inside the DoubleTree.
Okay.
Yeah,
DoubleTree, is that on Old Fort Parkway?
Yep, Old Fort Parkway.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So thank you all for showing up today. Thank you for sharing. And Kerry, thank you for giving us your tips and your input. And today is National Barbecue Day. So if you can get out and get some barbecue somewhere, do that. And please, be back here in 2 weeks. And bring a friend.